Indian and Chinese senior commanders hold the 6th round of military commander level meeting. Both sides agreed to stop sending more troops to the front line and refrain from unilaterally changing the situation on the ground. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold talks with 7 states and union territories with high rates of COVID-19 cases today. Will review measures to tackle COVID and its management. More than 63% of active COVID cases in these states. Day 10 of Monsoon Session today. Bill to amend Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010 to be taken for consideration today in Lok Sabha. Momentous day for the people of Jammu and Kashmir as Jammu Kashmir Official Languages Amendment Bill passed in Lok Sabha yesterday. Kashmiri, Dogri, Urdu, Hindi and English will now be the official languages of Jammu and Kashmir. India's war against COVID-19 continues. Over 89,000 patients recover in the last 24 hours. Recovery rate 81.25%. Mortality rate 1.59%. Health Ministry insists on wearing masks to curb virus transmission in the light of festive season ahead. US-China tensions take center stage at the UN as Trump accuses Beijing of unleashing plague. Beijing accuses Trump of lies and abusing UN platform to provoke confrontation. Good morning, you're watching DD India and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. Our top story first. India and China have agreed to earnestly implement the important consensus reached by the leaders of the two countries in a bid to stabilize the situation in eastern Ladakh. On September 21st, the Indian and Chinese senior commanders held the 6th round of military commander level meeting. The two sides had candid and in-depth exchanges of views, stabilizing the situation along the LAC in India-China border areas. A joint press release of the 6th round of senior commanders meeting between India and China said that both the nations agreed to earnestly implement the important consensus reached by the leaders of the two countries. Both the nations also agreed to strengthen communication on the ground, also avoid misunderstandings and misjudgments. India and China also decided to stop sending more troops to the front line. At the meeting, it was also agreed to refrain from unilaterally changing the situation on the ground and also avoid taking any actions that may complicate the situation. The two sides also agreed to hold the 7th round of military commander level meeting as soon as possible, taking practical measures to properly solve problems on the ground and jointly safeguard peace and tranquility in the border area. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today review the status and preparedness of COVID-19 response and management in 7 high-focus states and union territories. These high-focus states are Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Delhi and Punjab. Chief Ministers and Health Ministers of these states will be participating in the virtual meeting. More than 63% of the active cases of the country are concentrated in these 7 states and union territories. They also account for 65.5% of the total confirmed cases and 77% of the total deaths. Along with other 5 states, Punjab and Delhi have reported an increase in the number of cases being reported recently. Positivity rates of 5 of these states, except Punjab and Uttar Pradesh, are above the national average of 8.25%. That is 8.52%. The centre is leading the fight against COVID-19 in the country in effective collaboration and also close coordination with the states and union territories. It is the 10th day of the monsoon session of Parliament today, and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will move the bilateral netting of qualified financial contracts Bill 2020 for consideration and passage in Rajya Sabha. The bill seeks to ensure financial stability and promote competitiveness in Indian financial markets by providing enforceability of bilateral netting of qualified financial contracts. The bill has been already passed by Lok Sabha, and Rajya Sabha will also consider business which was scheduled for consideration yesterday but could not be concluded. Lok Sabha will also consider business which could not be completed on Tuesday. The Lok Sabha on Tuesday passed a bill under which Kashmiri, Dogri and Hindi, apart from the existing Urdu and English, will be the official languages in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has described the passing of Jammu and Kashmir Official Languages Amendment Bill as a momentous day for the people of the Union Territory. In a series of tweets, Amit Shah said under the legislation, special efforts will be made towards development of major regional languages like Gojri, Pahari and Punjabi. A momentous day for people of Jammu and Kashmir as Jammu Kashmir Official Languages Amendment Bill was passed in Lok Sabha. With this historic bill, long-awaited dream of the people of Jammu and Kashmir comes true. Amit Shah also thanked Prime Minister Modi for his commitment towards restoring the culture of Jammu and Kashmir through this bill. Introducing the Jammu and Kashmir Official Languages Bill 2020, Minister of State for Home Affairs G. Krishna Reddy said that it was a demand of the people of Jammu and Kashmir that the language they speak should be the official language.
जम्मू कश्मीर कला संस्कृति तथा भाषाओं का अकादमी और अधिक मजबूत करने का और इन संस्थाओं के द्वारा पंजाबी, गोजरी, पहाड़ी इन तीन भाषाओं को विकास करने के लिए विशेष कदम उठाने के लिए प्रावधान इस प्रस्ताव के द्वारा सम्मिलित किए जा रहे हैं। 2020 छात्राओं को कक्षा 5 तक अपने मातृभाषा में विषयों को सीखने के लिए प्रोत्साहित कर रहे हैं। सरकार किसी क्षेत्रीय भाषा का विरुद्ध नहीं है, लेकिन इस बिल में लगभग 70% भाषा बोलने वाले लोगों को कश्मीर और डोगरी प्राथमिक दिया गया। महोदय, इस प्रकार उर्दू और इंग्लिश के साथ साथ कश्मीरी, डोगरी और हिंदी भाषा यूनियन टेरिटरी जम्मू कश्मीर के ऑफिशियल पर्पस के भाषाओं के रूप में स्वीकार किया जाना अपेक्षित है।
Up next, we'll take a look at the status of official languages in Jammu and Kashmir before 31st October 2019. From 1957 to October 31st, 2019, there were two official languages, Urdu and English. As per 2011 census, population of present Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir is 1,21,75,838. And Urdu-speaking people are 19,112, which is just 0.16% of the total population. English continues as official language due to its use in judiciary and legislature. It is an interesting fact that in past 7 decades, the number of people speaking official languages was less than 1% of the total population. Lok Sabha on Tuesday passed 3 bills on the Labour Code. The bills will pave a way for historic labour reforms in the nation. The bills are Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code 2020, the Industrial Relations Code 2020, the Code on Social Security 2020. The newly passed bills will provide workers with social security, protection, safe and also healthy working environment. It also provides effective conciliation and grievance redressal mechanism for the workers. The new Labour Code is the result of government's efforts on recommendation of the Second National Commission on Labour that the existing labour laws to be merged into fewer labour codes now. As a result, 29 central labour laws are proposed to be reduced to just 4 labour codes. All these bills were earlier introduced in Lok Sabha in 2019, after which it was referred to Parliamentary Standing Committee. Now the new bills have been introduced by the centre. The parties engaged in healthy discussion on the matter, and Minister for Labour and Employment Santosh Gangwar said that the labour reforms that are being undertaken by the government will prove to be a milestone for welfare of workers.
इन लेबर कोड्स में जहां एक तरफ श्रमिकों के अधिकारों को सुदृढ़ करने का प्रयास किया गया है। वहीं दूसरी तरफ उद्योगों को सरलता से चलाने के लिए एक सरल अनुपालन की व्यवस्था की गई है। असंगठित क्षेत्र में काम कर रहे 40 करोड़ श्रमिकों को सामाजिक सुरक्षा देने के लिए पहली बार एक सामाजिक सुरक्षा फंड का प्रावधान किया गया है। इस फंड के द्वारा असंगठित क्षेत्र में कार्य कर रहे श्रमिक जैसे गिग वर्कर्स तथा प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स के लिए सामाजिक सुरक्षा की योजना बनाई जाएगी। इससे इन 40 करोड़ श्रमिक भाई बहनों को सामाजिक सुरक्षा से संबंधित सभी प्रकार के लाभ जैसे मृत्यु बीमा, दुर्घटना बीमा, पेंशन, मातृत्व लाभ इत्यादि प्रदान किए जाएंगे।
Heavy overnight rains in Mumbai have hit rail and road traffic after several parts in the city were waterlogged. The Weather Department has warned of a flood-like situation in the low-lying areas. Around 150 millimeters to 200 millimeters of rainfall was received in western suburbs, according to the Weather Office. Over the next 24 hours, the city is expected to receive more rains. Train services on the central and harbour lines have been suspended due to waterlogging. And for more on this, we're joined in by our correspondent Shyama from Mumbai. Shyama, let us know how is the weather predicted through the day today. We tell our viewers that there is a warning for floods in the low-lying areas in the city. You talk more about it and tell us what is to be expected.
Well, definitely, what expected this particular moment was definitely not expected because we see a heavy continuous rainfall yesterday night. Today you can see the over my raincoat, so that's when the rains have stopped. But yes, the entire city is submerged, and all the low-lying areas what we are talking about, including Himmata, Sion, King Circle, Kula, these all low-lying areas are completely submerged, and lots of houses or lots of these societies which are in the low-lying areas are completely in water. The houses have water inside them, and people are struggling really to get to even get out of their houses. DMC, on the other hand, has urged people that if it is not essential, please do not venture out of your houses, and if it's an essential services, only then move out of your house. Other than this, we also understand that the Weather Department has predicted a yellow for Mumbai today as well, and the neighboring areas, all these areas have been given yellow alert. Other than that is more these areas. Other than this, we also have the police services are completely harbour railway. Western railway services were affected to a large extent, and they also have restored the water level on the tracks is so much that it will definitely take more time to restore from this area, and only then the prices could be pretty.
All right, Shyama, thank you so much for joining us with those inputs. And up next, very quickly, we'll get you an update on the fight against COVID-19 put up by India. The fight against COVID-19 continues as India battles with the pandemic with all its resources. Over 89,000 patients recovered in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate has reached 81.25%. The number of tests have also increased continuously. A total of 6.5 crore tests have been conducted so far. COVID-19 death rate in the country has come down to 1.59% in the last 4 days. US shares 22.4% infection of total world caseload, while recovery rate is 18.6%, while Brazil has a recovery rate of 16.8%. India's recovery rate is 19.5%, and there has also been a spike in the number of tests in the country. On 7 July, the total number of tests with 1100 labs was 1 crore, whereas on 17 September, the number of tests with 1776 labs climbed to 6 crore mark. The important development in testing is that indigenous kits are being used. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has said that India's COVID-19 deaths per million population is among the lowest in the world, which stands at 64, and the world's average stands at 123. Also, India's war against COVID-19 continues. As we told you, up next we'll let you know about the global situation. When we talk of the global updates on COVID-19, then over 3.17 crore COVID-19 cases have been reported worldwide, with more than 9.75 lakh deaths As many as 2.33 crore people have recovered from the virus so far. The United States continues to top the list, being the worst hit country by the pandemic so far, with the highest number of COVID-19 cases. The US has neared the 71 lakh mark with over 70.97 COVID-19 cases, with deaths now crossing 2.05 lakh. 70.97 lakh cases have been reported from US. In terms of the death toll, Brazil stands second on the tally with over 1.38 lakh deaths. There are more than 45.95 lakh cases of COVID-19 in Brazil. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has called on the public to summon the discipline and the resolve to follow the new COVID-19 rules announced on Tuesday. In a television broadcast to the country, the UK Prime Minister said that he is reluctant to infringe anyone's freedom, but people must follow the rules and prevent another national lockdown. The address came hours after Johnson laid out in Parliament new, tougher sanctions and restrictions to tackle a fast-spreading second wave of COVID-19, which could last 6 months. The United Kingdom already has the highest official COVID-19 death toll in Europe, that is 41,825, while it is borrowing record amounts to pump emergency money through the damaged economy. The United States COVID-19 deaths surpassed the 2 lakh mark on Tuesday, with the national caseload topping 70.97 lakh. The death toll across the United States rose to 2.05 lakh. California tops the total case tally in the US with over 7.93 lakh cases. And in terms of deaths, New York has recorded the most number of deaths in the United States, with the toll over 33,000. The United States remains the nation worst hit by the pandemic, with the world's highest caseload and death toll, accounting for more than 1/5 of the global deaths. German Health Minister Jens Spahn on Tuesday visited one of the competing vaccine candidates, Sanofi, who are hoping to bring the COVID-19 vaccine into the Germany markets by mid-2021. Germany is providing all round $900 million to support 3 domestic pharmaceutical companies that are developing vaccines against the new COVID-19 virus. Sanofi and GlaxoSmithKline have signed an advance purchase agreement with the European Commission to supply up to 300 million doses of their potential COVID-19 vaccine following regulatory approval. Spahn and Germany would not cut corners when it comes to testing vaccines. He also said that only vaccines that have been tested on thousands of volunteers in phase 3 would be approved. Sanofi also said that the first and utmost priority is safety, and there will be no compromise on this. An European Union summit planned for 24th and 25th of September has been postponed for a week after European Council President Charles Michel went into coronavirus quarantine due to contact with an infected security guard. He, however, tested negative for COVID-19 but was following the COVID-19 rules of the country. The European Union Leaders Summit will now take place on 1st and 2nd of October. The postponement pushes back decision-making regarding potential sanctions on Belarus and Turkey to next month. India has protested the remarks made by Turkish President Erdogan in reference to Kashmir. In his permanent representative at the UN, T.S. Tirumurti, in a tweet said that the remarks constitute gross interference in India's internal affairs and are completely unacceptable. He said, and I quote him, "We have seen remarks by President of Turkey on Indian Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. They constitute gross interference in India's internal affairs and are completely unacceptable. Turkey should learn to respect the sovereignty of other nations and reflect on its own policies more deeply." Erdogan, during his speech at the UN, had said that Kashmir conflict, which is also key to the stability and peace of South Asia, is still a burning issue. US President Donald Trump told the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday that it must hold China accountable for their actions related to COVID-19 pandemic, demanding that the United Nations must hold Beijing accountable for failing to contain the virus that has killed nearly 1 million people across the world, including 2 lakh Americans. After President Trump blasted China over COVID-19 outbreak, China has responded to his allegations. Correspondent William Denslow joins us from outside the United Nations to tell us more on this.
Blasting China on its record, not only when it comes to climate change, but also COVID-19. US President Donald Trump saying that China unleashed the virus on the world and that China put in place a domestic travel ban but still allowed people to leave the country. President Trump also blasting the World Health Organization, a body of the United Nations that the US has recently pulled out of, saying that the WHO is virtually controlled by China, saying that both the WHO and China has previously provided the global population with bad information regarding COVID-19. Now, in response, China offered a very strong rebuttal. The Chinese representative at the United Nations described the accusations from US President Donald Trump as being baseless. We've also heard from China's President Xi Jinping. He said that any attempts to politicize COVID-19 must be rejected.
France President Emmanuel Macron said in a speech to the United Nations General Assembly that the United States' maximum pressure campaign on Iran has so far failed, as he dismissed U.S. efforts to restore UN sanctions against Iran, as Washington had already left the 2015 nuclear deal. The U.S. slapped new sanctions on Iran's defense ministry and others involved in its nuclear and weapon programs. The new sanctions come in to prop the U.S. assertion that all United Nations sanctions against Iran that were lifted under 2015 accord have now been restored. The move was rejected by European allies Britain, Germany and France, as well as Russia and China, who are all parties to the Iranian nuclear agreement. Macron emphasized that he could not support the approach of US President Donald Trump's administration. And back home, in a unique initiative, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with fitness influencers and citizens during a nationwide online Fit India dialogue, which is being organized to celebrate the first anniversary of Fit India movement on September 24th, 2020. That's tomorrow. The online interaction will see participants sharing anecdotes and tips of their own fitness journey while drawing out guidance from Prime Minister on his thoughts about fitness and good health. Among those who will participate range from Virat Kohli to Milind Soman to Rujuta Divekar, and in addition to other fitness influencers. In times of COVID-19, fitness has become an even more important aspect of life. This dialogue will see a timely and fruitful conversation on nutrition, wellness and various other aspects on fitness. Envisioned the Prime Minister as a people's movement, Fit India Dialogue is yet another endeavour to involve citizens of the country to draw out a plan to make India a fit nation. The basic tenet on which the Fit India movement was envisaged, that of involving citizens to imbibe fun, easy and non-expensive ways in which they could remain fit and thereafter bring about a behavioural change which makes fitness an imperative part of every Indian's life, and that is being strengthened by this dialogue. In the past 1 year, since its launch, various events organized under the aegis of Fit India movement have seen enthusiastic participation of all people from all walks of life and from across the country. The Fit India Freedom Run, Blog Run, Cyclothon, Fit India Week, Fit India School Certificate and various other programs have seen combined participation of over 3.5 crore people, making it a truly people's movement. The Fit India Dialogue, which will see participation of fitness enthusiasts from all over the country, further strengthens the vision that it is the citizens who are to be credited for the success of the nationwide movement. Also, anyone can join the Fit India Dialogue over the NIC link, that is pmindiawebcast.nic.in from 11:30 till noon on September 24th. And today is also the Hifa Victory Day. On this day in 1918, Indian soldiers from Mysore, Hyderabad and Jodhpur Lancers liberated the strategically important city of Haifa, which is known for its deep water bay in the eastern Mediterranean. The annual ceremony to pay tributes to brave Indian troops will be held in Teen Murti Haifa Chowk today. Union Minister of State for Transport, retired General V.K. Singh, Union Minister of State for Railways Suresh Angadi and Deputy Chief of the Mission of Israel in New Delhi, Ronnie Yedidia Klein, will participate in the event. That's it in this edition of the news this hour. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.